world.
It's all about Benita.
It's good film.
Support the Benita show.
Oh,
We need more people like her in St. Louis.
oh, thank you. What did you say, Randy?
See, she's tricky. She is tricky. Sneaky woman, that Benita.
I'm sorry, who you guys talking about?
Show.
You know, it's good to be inspired. We need to be inspired. We're living in a world right now where inspiration is kind of lackluster. You know, I don't do a lot of political jokes, although politics right now are absolute joke. I'm sorry. Basically, I think that politicians should not wear suits anymore. I think politicians should wear T-shirts with their sponsors on them, so we know who to be mad at. I mean, that way we already know who to look bad. But this next young lady comes to the stage. I have looked at some of her products, and they are absolutely awesome. I can say that because I'm a grandparent, so these toys are grandparent approved by me. Y'all, welcome to the stage, Miss Holly Gerschen.
Hello and welcome to the magical land of Follow Me Fairies. The Follow Me Fairies Activity Pack is a patented multi-activity playset for girls ages 3 and up, specially designed to develop creativity and imagination.
You all see what Miss Gerschen got going on there? Yeah, give her a hand, give her a hand. I'm rambling in my little toy bag right now.
That's right.
But she has been all over QVC, and you've been working on these products for what, about 9 years now? How long?
You know, when my daughter was 4, when Alexandra was 4, and she's in the back there, she's now 13, I had a dream. Because I would say to her, we're going to go to the grocery store, and I don't know how many here have little girls, but she would grab everything, her colors, her doll, her book, her pillow, her blanket. Does anybody else's daughter do that? And I'd be like, we're going to be in the car for 4 minutes, and just the doll. She didn't want to bring it all, and then at bedtime, of course, everything was in the car. So I had a dream, and it didn't look quite like this, but the dream showed the backpack with the doll and the storybook about the characters, which Alexandra and Madison's Fairyland Adventures is what I ended up writing. And then a built-in whiteboard and magnetic markers so they can color in their car seats. And then, of course, magic fairy glasses that turn mothers, fathers, and little girls alike into fairies, according to the storybook. And magic little fairy wand. So it was one of those things that was for creative play on the go, and yet it was organized. As a mom, I really liked that. My daughter loved it, to be able to take it with her wherever she wanted to. And we are all about creative play and imaginative play. So that's what it came from.
Now, I don't have daughters, but I have sons. And I know, and all you parents out there know they got to grab everything in the world. I like we're going down the street. They grab their PlayStation, they grab their, their favorite books, they grab their, because my 9-year-old, he's an avid reader. And he grabs every book. I said, we're coming back home, sweetie. But so this was an excellent. No wonder it's taken off so well. You've won a lot of awards too. A lot of quite a few play awards. Tell us about your awards that you've won.
We've actually won 4 awards. We won Parents' Choice Award. We've won 2 awards from Creative Child magazine and the Tillywig Award. So if you're in stores and you're in the toy department, you'll see those different labels. And yeah, we're pretty excited about that. It's very fun to have been able to create something that parents enjoy and the consumers liking. I know, our customers are 3 to 8 years old, and so it's always fun to have them be very happy. And yeah, I'm grateful for that.
She looks like me, huh?
Yeah, she's beautiful. That's right.
Our little girl up here in front.
Right.
Wow. Now, if you go to followmefairies.com, you can see a lot of what's going on with these products. You also can get to you have the storybooks online. And they can follow along the story as you narrate.
Okay.
It's cool. You've been on this journey for a while. I know you mentioned to me you started this when your daughter was 9 and she's 15 now. Well, she was 4. Okay.
I started this because I had this dream, and then I was just naive enough to think that I could actually do this. And I'll tell you what, that is your friend. Because if we've been talking about this, several different people, including Margie, have said, to follow your path and follow your dream. And so this was something that literally came to me in a dream. As parents, we were big on creative play. I do see that our children are really overstimulated by media. And so for me, it was really important to actually have something that could be an answer to creating more imagination and creativity and innocence and joy, friendship being the basis of all of that, which Tamar here is the fairy of friendship, this fairy right here. And so she's a very important part of the storybook, and she'll be in future stories as well. So Alexandra was 4, she's now 13. It's been quite a process. I know, Benita, you talked about how you have a product you're bringing to market, and I was telling the president of our company, Mr. Lujan, about what you said about how you've invested so much money, and he said, oh no, she needs to invest a couple $100,000 more before she'll be anywhere. So really, that's all you've invested? You're right on track, no worries. Because it does take commitment, and then of course having the right people come into your life at the right time. And I believe that Follow Me Fairies will be out in stores, will be available to everybody only because of that. I feel like it's been a gift to me, and that there's a reason for it. And so if anyone has any great contacts, that are buyers in the toy industry, please let me know, because it'd be great to have this out to lots of little girls all over the world.
There's a theme going on here. Do you notice it? Do you notice the theme? Follow your dream. Go after that vision. Go after that passion that's in your heart. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight.
No.
As we hear, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something you have to continuously and constantly chip away at. Anybody have any questions for this phenomenal dreamer? Janet?
There's just 3. Are you planning on more?
We have 3. We have Tamar, the fairy of friendship, and then Alexandra and Madison, who are little girls that are turned into fairies. And as soon as Follow Me Fairies line takes off, I actually have about 4 other fairies that we've created and are ready to go. We also have a line for little boys and girls. But getting Follow Me Fairies to the point where we can, say, okay, we're ready to bring on the rest of the fairies and bring on a new line that will be there for boys. That's our goal. So we're ready for that. The illustrator is actually a local woman, Stephanie Summerlin, and she and I went to college together, and she is an artist. She is an art teacher. She teaches at COCA, and she's just amazing. So she's our illustrator on the fairies, and I'm thrilled to have her involved in our books. She's amazing too.
Have some amazing people in St. Louis, period.
We do.
And that's what my show is about, showcasing all of our local artists and these people that are building their dreams.
You say you've been following this dream for at least 9 years now. Would you be willing to share with us some of the personal sacrifices that you've had to make in following these dreams for these now?
Okay. Well, a lot of them were financial because you would work and then you would take every penny you had, and that would have been considered extra and really wasn't, and you put it into your project, whether it was creating a patent or creating the book, or more money into ordering. And once again, like I said, I had some amazing, wonderful people come along and help design and create the product. And I feel like the universe just really supplied for me at a time when I didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we were able to create this. So, but I would say that financial, and then, oh my goodness, a great test in believing and in patience, right? Maybe not, it hasn't happened in my timing, let's put it that way. I really thought that, 4 years ago we'd be on the shelves in the stores, right? And that hasn't been the case. But I do believe that there's a plan and action, and that the timing is there, and that, just being here with Benita and being so blessed to, have met her through Margie back there, and just, knowing that maybe this is going to be something that will then create the next step for Follow Me Fairies. So, yeah.
Amazing. Well, I have to say goodbye, Miss Gerschen. Don't go anywhere, please. We're going to take some pictures and stuff afterwards. I have one more guest. But right now I have to say goodbye to you, and thank you for your creativity. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for coming on the Benita
Thanks
Show.
for having me.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. One more time, Miss Holly Gerschen. One more time for awesome college. Beautiful. The thing I really enjoyed about it is that she took the time to make sure that they were multi-ethnic. I think that's just awesome. Y'all clap for Miss Benita for putting this all together. This is just absolutely awesome. This next individual that we're going to bring to the Benita Show is a personal hero to me, because he is one of the kings of the paranormal. This man has been on Coast to Coast AM. He's written books. Matter of fact, he does a segment on a great local radio station here, 97.1 Paranormal Tuesdays. It is a distinct honor, privilege, and pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Michael Lynch.
Large and has this history, it tends to take on kind of a life of its own with people, and the fact that if you're alone in here, late at night, there can be many things, sounds and different things where you'd hear a voice from a hallway or a room away, and you'd try to walk that down or chase that down and not be able to follow it.
Later that evening, the Toasted Rev crew investigates the house with the help of parapsychologist Dr. Michael Lynch.
Well, the Lemp Mansion is open for everything. The ghosts just go from room to room, from place to place, wherever they really want to go. And it's the room that we get a lot of our evidence in, and this is where William Lemp and also Charles committed suicide. They actually killed themselves in this room. And there was a couple that stayed here in this room, and they woke up as their bed was shaking, and they thought it was one of the attendants, the servers downstairs, and they thought that the building was on fire or something like that, and their bed was shaking, and the gentleman woke up and looked up, and he saw this person in like a tuxedo, tie and shirt, and he thought it was one of the servants or some of the help, get up, get out of bed, something's wrong. And when he woke up and saw the person, he just disappeared right there in the room.
Is this for the audience? Or?
Oh, yeah. Dr. Lynch, you'll take over now. This is a wonderful, wonderful man, and he has so much knowledge. I mean, we were on the phone one night, probably 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, he could just go and go and go when he talks about parapsychology. He's been seen all over ABC Family, Ghost Hunters. He's been on national TV on a bunch of different channels because he's really considered the expert in parapsychology. And again, let's welcome Dr. Michael Lynch. Now you can have the microphone.
Oh, okay.
What do you want to know? It was a dark, stormy night.
That's only how all the stories go. I've just gotten back, well, actually not last weekend, weekend before last, from Contamination 2012, where it was like a horror fest, and a lot of people there dealt in fiction or fantasy, horror, and when they came to me, they actually, it took me a little, they took some time to warm up to me because they didn't really know how to take me, you know. And because I deal in reality, I don't really deal in horror or science fiction, and I don't make anything up. And so the first day, people were like coming by my booth and saying, you know, who are you? And I said, well, I'm just like a local guy, and I'm on the radio, and blah, blah, blah. And so some of these guys come up to me, and they're famous actors in B movies, like one actor was famous in One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and something about zombies in the desert. And anyway, so a lot of people came up to me, like on the second day, and say, you know, I was at an airport one time, and I saw this thing, and it was a UFO. And I would sit there and watched it for hours, you know, for minutes, and it seemed like hours. And every one of these famous people came up to me and said something had happened in their life. They had seen a ghost, they had seen a UFO. I gave a lecture on cryptozoology, and we talked about Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster, and we actually threw in some other things that are just now coming to the forefront, such as fairies and mermaids, which are now becoming, we actually have scientific evidence to actually suggest that they are real now. And so they're not mythology as we understand it. They're actually, now we have the scientific data to actually prove that there are mermaids in the ocean and that there are fairies flying through in some of our forests. And so when we go back to ancient mythology, they looked at these things as reality. But because of our lexicon, because of the way that we think of our reality, we say, oh, that's fireflies, or that's just, you know, flickering, you know, dew in the moonlight, or whatever. We come up with excuses because we really don't want to know. And then after we get evidence that actually suggests that, you know, this is far more than footprints, this is far more than flickers of light, that there's actually, these creatures now are coming to the limelight. They do exist, and we are finding them through technology. And that's exactly how we found ghosts, and that's how we find all these other odd things out there. Paranormal deals with a lot with electromagnetic consciousness, and we're going into electromagnetic medicines now, because the mind-body connection is very important. There's ancient Chinese medicine men, which we would classify as healers today, but they come in and they just wave their hands over you, and man, your body corrects itself. And they believe that the brain can heal the body under any conditions. And that dates back about 12,000 years, and the first writings of their way of performing medicines went back to 8,000 years ago, and it was embroidered on silk. And that was the first real record of it. Now this again blows Western medicine away, because they want to give you a pill. They think it's all, you know, chemical based and not electromagnetic based. Well, just lately, lo and behold, I heard an American doctor talk about how the body was electromagnetic, and the nerve endings and the brain and all this stuff needs, you know, it needs its health just like the rest of the body. And so now they're finally looking at electromagnetic medicines. So now modern day medicine is going back 12,000 years and saying, hey, I think we missed something. So that's very interesting on that. I've been in a lot of television specials and things like that, and we've done Alton, Illinois. We've done some places in St. Louis. The Lemp Mansion is one of my favorite haunts, and Paul Pointer's a really nice guy. And we talk about that all the time. And the ghosts in the Lemp are real. I don't want to, you know, just because Jason Grant and the guys on Ghost Lab can't find anything in the Lemp Mansion doesn't mean they're not there. And every time I go, we always find something always unusual happens. And Paul Pointer has been there the longest. Him and his sister Patty have been there the longest. They've renovated the place, and they've kind of found a equilibrium with the entities that are there. And it's a strange family. The Lemps were a strange family. They had a very strange history, and almost all of them died by gunshot or suicide. One of them died of a heart attack right outside on the steps of the house. The other two died in the house. The daughter was shot or committed suicide, but not in that location. And so there's a lot of turmoil with that family, and it just manifests. Every time there's an investigation, they always get something strange. And if it's not in the house, I can go outside and take some pictures outside, and lo and behold, they're outside. So, there's ways of tracking them down. There's ways of doing it.
Man, and he can go on and on and on.
Ask me a question. That's the best way I do it.
I mean, I don't have any questions. You all have any questions? I'm sure you all. I look at there, hands all over the place. Look, Saba, come on. What's your question?
What are the strange things that you guys have?
It's mainly sounds and EVPs. If you take a high quality microphone and you start walking around and you start asking questions like, is there anybody here? What's your name? Things like that. You'll actually get sounds coming through the microphone and you'll be able to record them.
And before we take any more questions, because that's a good question, can you play that clip? Because it goes right into some of the things that he sounds like Lynch.
And I'll show you which room is the most haunted. When the Lemps were here, this was a resident nanny or caretaker to a young retarded boy named Zeke. And this was his domain. This whole third floor is his domain. He was not allowed to leave. He was not allowed to go to the public. And when the public did see him, they kind of said he resembled kind of like a monkey. He looked a little more like a monkey. And on many occasions, before this was remodeled, we would see several orbs up here, but one basic orb just floating around between the rooms like it belonged here. Before this was renovated, this was just an open space. It looked very much like it did now, but it was just empty. And behind those doors, you see these little windows that face the front of the Lemp mansion. And those are the little windows that people would actually say they saw the monkey boy or Zeke. What we're doing is we're looking for energy of a particular type. And when we look for ghosts or consciousness outside the human body, what we're looking for is some type of plasma. And this plasma has an electromagnetic field around it. And as it moves through the air, it actually warps electrons. And so the light that's coming from the equipment is in the infrared and bounces off of these electrons to show us that it's there. We'll see this white shape take form, and it will look like a ball, maybe the size of a golf ball, maybe a little bit larger. But when you compare the video footage to digital stills, you'll start seeing that it's the same orb object. Now, a lot of people say, well, this is just dust, but I can tell you at this nanometer range, there is no dust there. They're here, the population is here. Whether they're going to do anything or not, that's up to them.
That was from Toasted Ravioli. That was our investigation with this radio station. And they go, hey, we're a radio station, not a competitor, 97.1, but we'd like to take you on a ghost hunt. And I said, okay, yeah, that's be great. And they bring all this video equipment. I said, I thought this was for radio. And then the next thing you know, it's on the web. And it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize, But they did not believe in ghosts at all until they got there. And then I pointed out these white things are what we're after, and then they were freaking out because that was the rooms that they were staying in. So those are the most two haunted rooms there in the Lemp Mansion. So It's interesting. It's very interesting. Not everything is haunted, but there's a lot of hauntings. Before Contamination 2012, I got some emergency phone calls, and I had to go to a haunted house. The man had started doing some renovations on the house, and as soon as the renovation started, the ghost came out and would not leave his family alone. So I had to travel to his house and shut down the house. And it really started out that there's an old abandoned well that the house was kind of partially built over. And then that caused a lot of the energy and a lot of the disturbance that was going on in the house as well. And there's no way in the world the Lemp can ever be non-haunted because it's built over a cabin. It's an old home, and the entities just don't want to leave. There's just so much going on with that place. It probably will never be resolved. Yes?
So do you think that these energies, that they're from the previous human forms?
Yes.
Why didn't they move on? I mean, I would think that we have an option to maybe move elsewhere.
We
They get stuck.
have options. Okay. Now, you're not going to find this in Sunday school, so let me just explain this to you. You have options, okay? Now, in Sunday school, it depends which Sunday school you go to.
Right.
There's only two places you're going to go. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's only one place you're going to go. There's no other choice. Here's the option. Here's the addendum at the bottom of your contract. If you think that your heaven is somewhere in your past, a moment in your life that you live in euphoria at, you will have an option to go there. Okay. And that becomes, in retrospect, your little slice of heaven. Now, you can interpret this however you want, but Jesus said, okay, I'm not going to preach here, but Jesus quoted, the quote is, in my Father's house there are many rooms, there are many mansions in my Father's house, meaning that there is a place for you. Now that place could be wherever you kind of wanted to be. Okay, so they're not really stuck on earth. You have to imagine in a strange way, they're at the place that they feel happiest or most comfortable at. Okay?
Do they recognize that there's something else going on?
Yeah, they try to communicate to the people in the room. Okay. You're in my house, blah, blah, blah. I don't want you here. They also communicate amongst themselves while they're there. Now, they can be removed, but you have to use an angelic force to come in and do that. There's no real exorcist or spiritualist or shaman who can come in, voodoo expert, whatever, can just come in and get rid of that possession. It has got to be done under an angelic force. I mean, you can be the best voodoo priestess in the world, and you still have to call in angels to do that, to take them someplace else. It's more spiritual than it is religion.
What do you think your purpose on this planet is? To be able to see
great entertainment. Benita and I, we're buds. We are entertainment.
But to have a gift of being able to see things that not your average person can see, in terms of explaining, interpreting, not being afraid, opening up.
I have no idea. I really don't have any idea. I had never really, I would say, quote unquote, saw this as a purpose, but use it for good and then find an explanation to explain it. So if you have a purpose, if you have a thing, explain it the best you can and use it for good the best you can, and then it will just go from there. And that's the whole meaning of everything that I do. Thank you, Benita.
I have no questions. Use it for good. I like that. That's an awesome ending. Use it for good. We're going to say good night. I want if all my guests will please come back up and say good night to our audience. Thank you, Dr. Lynch, for coming on the video show.